Well, I'd like to take you through these steps involved in lifting from one of our palettes file that you can use in your own copy of gCADPlus. Your first step would be to go to the website, find one of the palettes. In this case we need a palette of drawing sheets, and then click on the example image there, and that will download the file and put it in your downloads folder. I'll return to gCADPlus and open and pick that file up from downloads folder. So I open it up, I'll say yes, I'll continue. Now this file's got a number of sheets in it. What we want to do is to lift one of them and make it available in our local copy of gCADPlus. So I'll pick this first one. If I select it, you can see that there's a block, a drawing sheet block with a reference guide and sample title block inside. So I'm going to select it and copy it to the clipboard. Then I'm going to go File and New, and I'll say No Template. Then I'll right click and paste from the clipboard. I'm being asked for an insertion point. I'll type 0, 0, right click and zoom extents. I'll go View and change the background colour to white so that you can see it a little more easily. So we have a file which has no name at the moment, and we now want to edit it and add our own information. We'll utilise some of it there, but we'll put our own logo in here and an address and a telephone contact number and so on for our design practice. That will go in there. Once we've got that, we want to put it into the appropriate spot in gCADPlus where we can use it in new pieces of work that we do with the software. The very next step is to open a drawing with our logo details on it. And I have one example here I'll call Knobbly Rush. So we'll do exactly the same. Select the logo and information, right click, copy to the clipboard, swing back to our no name, and I'll zoom out a little because I have no knowledge of whether the logo is the appropriate size for that little zone. So I'll move over to one side, right click, paste from the clipboard. It wasn't too bad, but it's going to need some reduction in size. So I'll pop it along there and zoom extents. The simplest thing to do here is to explode the block. That breaks it up into its parts, and if we now click in here, can you see that's a separate block now? And what we really want to do is to pop this information and add a bit more text. So I'm going to explode it again, so I'm breaking it all down into its various bits and pieces. What I can then do is just scale this. So I'll select it and say Scale. I'll click in one corner and then drag out to the other opposite corner and then just move down until I get it to a size where it fits reasonably well. I can remove now the other information there that was there, and now we can pick this logo and move it into position so that it sits there. So the next step would be to add some text giving address, contact details, website and so on. That's not quite centrally placed, so I can simply select it and move it across. You might pay to put a grid and snap-on to help line things up. So we're nearly there, but before we do, we'll go to the blocks here and delete any unused blocks. And one block's been deleted. I'm going to save this drawing file now in the appropriate place in my gCADPlus system so that I can use it again. So we'll go File. So my point being, this is nearly ready. It needs a little bit of cleaning up. File, Save As, and we're going to navigate to our C drive, to our Users, to Documents, to gCADPlus, to Blocks, Details, and there should be a folder there called Drawing Sheets Title Blocks. That will do us, and we'll call this one our A2 horizontal. So I'll say Save and zoom extents, and I'll close gCADPlus and reboot. So File and Exit. I'm going to have several drawings open at once, so I might have to save them, but that seemed to work quite nicely. So we're back. We've closed gCADPlus. We can now double click to start it again and close. So if I was starting a brand new drawing, I'll turn off my warning and I say, let's again, just for ease of you being able to see, there's our drawing. Imagine we developed the drawing here. Let's throw a couple of entities in just to make sure. And a circle. Let's imagine that was a design, and we go to Format and we go to Layouts. We create a new layout. Remember, we've just made our very own A2 sheet in landscape, so we go OK. Now if we go to Layout 1, we should be looking at an A2 sheet. There's our design sitting in the middle of a floating viewport. You might want to change the size of your floating viewport. We'll unselect it for the moment. Now what we want to do is to insert from our library details, and if we've got it right, we should go to Title Blocks and our A2 horizontal and insert it into this drawing, and in it comes, and we can put it at 0, 0, and in it goes. Now I miscued there a little, so I'll pick it and move that corner point there to coordinate 0, 0. Now the red bit of our drawing sheet sits beautifully at the edge and coincides with the edge of the paper. So can you see that from now on, whenever we want an A2 drawing sheet, we can just navigate to the library, to the details, and then pop it in. You may have learnt that it's very useful. Pick the floating viewport. You could set a view scale at that point. Let's change the scale. Imagine we're working at 1 to 50, and we'll make it a fixed scale. And then we'll, let me unselect all, because it's ugly to see that floating viewport, I'll pick it. Oops, just lay on the layout. I'll just select it without clicking, and now change its colour to white 255 and unselect all and zoom extents. There we have a 1 to 50 view of our design with our logo on it. It's a simple matter to edit the block, right click, edit the block, and I can make any change I like to the text for location. So it becomes a very versatile sheet indeed. So I hope that helps you. In fact, it's the same way you work with any of the palettes that we give you on the website.